Hello and welcome to the Raw Review. I'm Michael Sidgwick, joined by fellow Dudley boy Michael Hamflett to discuss everything that went down on last night's show. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure to subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube for daily wrestling podcasts where we preview and review Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Dynamite, what kind of drop collision? Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have wrestler interviews on occasion, wrestling roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week complete with a bloody good quiz of Kwaus on wrestle culture. Two of the boys are back in town.
Nearly there.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
A few more days of wacky summer, but, you know, still to come. But we are pretty much getting there.
Yeah.
There'll be, if all goes well, etc.
All being well.
Yeah. The plan is for two Dudley boys until Thursday.
Yeah.
And then the boys are back in town.
The Tony Khan check has cleared, so all three will be back for the Dynamite review. Yeah,
indeed.
That's how that works.
The boys are back in town.
They are.
So, Hamflett, before I throw to you about the old, you know, you're going to do the old hosting.
Yes.
Proud thoughts on Raw and Fed Brackets General.
Le Carontes de retour, Sidge, which obviously you know means the power is back, but in French, because we're now going to be leaving our... Can we talk about what really matters to us still in 2025? That friggin' Eiffel Tower. They built an Eiffel Tower. About time. Where's that been? That was the moment where I was like...
Get the phone boxes next.
I don't need them back ever.
No.
But like, just when I have properly committed to this idea that they have got nothing left, like the 2025 decline is real, provable at this point in loads of metrics, but sort of in terms of our, like, not our tastes, my tastes and your satisfaction. Like, the decline is impossible to ignore. And then they did build an Eiffel Tower. It is not dead yet. They are not completely bereft yet.
Hang on. What's this got to do with anything?
I'll tell you. I'm getting there. Because in 2023, when Bad Bunny walked that aisle, there was no need to mention... Nary a mention from Michael Cole that night about how the Fed was the hottest thing on earth, because it simply was. They opened Clash in Paris, I think it was a Friday SmackDown in Lyon, saying, "We are here in front of the best crowd of all time." They're just speaking objectively about a thing.
Yeah.
A weird thing, you know. And then they know what they're doing, and they know that what we're like 3 years into it, like Clash at the Castle was 2022. They're 3 years into this experiment of...
If you can work out or recall that deep cut reference, you get a shout out on the podcast.
Somebody will get that in the comments.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Don't say it.
That's fine. We've got an astute bunch. Somebody will crack that in the comments. I feel like I do. But is it a film? I won't say it if it is, but no. There's a tone of voice that... Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, 3 years into they go places and it's hot. It's worked a treat because this competitive fan noise thing.
Ugh.
Yes. Ugh. This is what I'm getting to about this Proud Thoughts on this weekend they've had in France, because we haven't covered Clash in Paris, obviously. Wakey Summer, apologies. This is the first time...
I watched it for no reason.
Not no reason. You watched it for your own personal enjoyment, obviously. This is the first time I have come more to your line of thinking where I've never particularly loved our crowds in the UK kind of leading the charge for this. Sarkor chants.
Are you watching Vince McMahon?
I like to think we've been consistent on that. But this was the first time. It was at Clash in Paris, and I got a bit of it on this Raw, which otherwise I enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to praising it with some Proud Thoughts.
I will say, by the way, miserable Sidgwick's back. There's something on this show that set my tits on fire.
Yeah, nah. This weekend was the first time, with apologies to our French listeners and viewers, and like people who are just obviously spending the money to have the good time.
It's all of Europe. It's all of Europe.
Have the good time.
It's all of Europe.
It is. Have the good time you want, etc. It was way too disconnected from the product. Like,
the dissonance was horrible.
Yeah, this is not like, will it be any good on mute? I don't necessarily love that take in general. It is part about making people make noise, whatever noise they're making.
That's the whole point of wrestling. But it's getting increasingly lost.
Lift them as separate components from one another and it wouldn't make a difference. Not on.
That's the terrible crowd alarm if that is picking up on your audio or video feeds.
Exactly. Just
the performative crowd alarm.
there was 20,000 last night in for Raw. That'll go down as well, like one of the bigger Raw attendances ever. The venue looked gorgeous for Clash in Paris. So a big crowd should make big noises. That's supposed to happen. But I've never noticed just how divorced one was from what was actually happening in the ring.
Indeed. Look, I don't want to say the French. It's all of Europe. It's across Europe and the United States of America, right? This has been a problem for a long time. It's just intensifying to a degree that is actively detracting from you might have had a great time there. You might have enjoyed the atmosphere watching it home from wherever you are. Like for me, and I think this isn't just a pro wrestling thing. It's just a lot of performative. There's just a lack of sincerity in the world now. I've often said I mourn the world that allowed the motion picture Big Trouble in Little China to be made. There's just a sincerity that's missing from everything.
Yeah.
It's crept into wrestling a long time ago, this performative, detached. And there's a lot that goes into it because...
It is a nuanced thing, this.
It is a nuanced thing. Like, I've mourned in pro wrestling the lack of true, earnest, genuine heat, but I believe that it's to a degree to be unrecoverable. And we all kind of make do and play along and watch the heels and just you like the heels. It's not how it's meant to be. Yeah. Thank God, by the way, something burst that bubble on this goddamn show. It was amazing. But yeah, I just feel like it's reached a nadir at this point, this idea of we are awesome as a crowd.
Yes.
That is the worst chant. I can't even remember the year. It was a Raw after WrestleMania, obviously, which again is the crowd just hijacking it or making it all about them. That's becoming just the norm now, especially when they go to these European shows. Even something like I wonder, right, if Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson, Dynasty 2024, just a masterpiece. I loved it. Even then I got irritated. Was it the "we're not worthy" chants?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's detached. That's detached.
It's detached. Yeah. I understand. I think Ospreay was on Van Vliet and he loved that.
Yeah.
And I get it. If you're a performer, you're probably like on cloud nine. If Ospreay Danielson happened in not the Tokyo Dome, I think it's quite an overrated venue. If that happened in Asuka Joe Hall, like, god damn.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why, even though if you look at it, pound for pound, the card on paper, Grand Slam Mexico, like that MJF Mystico match was incredible because people were living and dying with the performers portraying their fictional roles. My favorite crowds of all time, my favorite atmospheres of all time, WrestleMania 13 or the Best of All / New Japan, like just a an earnest ebb and flow and rhythm. And it's just, as you said, disconnected. It's like they're just doing it to do it. They're doing it because they've now, and the worst thing is this is the snake that's going to eat itself now. Every time they go back to France, and it's happening in the UK as well with the audience-ometers and all the rest of it, like it's now a race to make the most noise and to be the most performative and to try and it feeds into my, it's funny that you've got this, but maybe it's a step too far of this, I don't know, this idea of like it's WWE itself can feel all too often very synthetic for me, and this just quite literally amplifies that idea when I'm watching it. Just shut up. To be succinct about it, shut up. Make noise to what you're meant to be making noise for, or alternatively, if nothing's grabbing you, sit there and be quiet because they'll listen to that.
I think. And I think this is relevant to this Raw, by the way, but I don't want people that have tuned in and been like, oh, the whinging Dadleys are back straight away, because I think there's lots of, I'm certainly, at least, I don't want to speak for you, I want to praise loads from this Raw, and I'm going to
praise some of it.
We're both going to love one segment in particular. I think WWE, either by intention or by accident, or maybe a bit of both, have like willfully blurred the lines, and I think that's where it's become a problem for me, Dr. Fed and all of that. I would defend, to the very end, up to present day, inclusive of this episode of Raw, the continued push, debatable success thereof of the Jey Uso character, right? And that is the positive of the types of crowds they've cultivated. That idea that do you know what? Yeah, I know the action in the ring is a big deal, but I do want to buy a ticket to wave my arms up and down and be a part of that crowd. Yeah. That's like sort of, I would compare that to like when you see, even if you're not a big Oasis fan, you see Oasis tour footage, and if you like going to gigs, you're like, it'd be pretty cool to do that, you know? And I think there's nothing wrong in that, fundamentally. It's okay for wrestling to change and develop and what the fan experience is. We can't just be old men yelling at clouds. Like, things evolve, and you might not like that thing where it's gone, where they've kind of like leaned in with the audience pop-ometer thing that for a point was real as well, is that I'm just...
Like the Puerto Rico crowd were incredible because they were just earnestly responding to the action. And I'm not saying you have to do that if you're bored. You know what I mean? Like, just
that bothers me, because I feel like what you're doing here is, it's like, it's stolen valor. Like, I feel like I'm one of the fairer ones to be able to say 2025 has been a bit of a fall off.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching crowds create this reaction for themselves to a product that I feel like I can reasonably assess as like fallen off a bit from 2024, 2023, it doesn't feel deserved. It doesn't feel earned. Like, the matches, some of them and are still not raw. This was a good example. There is plenty here that doesn't really feel like it's connecting and doesn't feel like it's deserving of an atmosphere. Yeah. And then one wrestler comes out and then the
just faking it.
Yeah.
It's like really off-putting and fake.
It's a Raw review, but we haven't talked Clash in Paris at length, and I sense from our conversation over the desk we already disagree on this. So, like, I welcome you welcome your counterpoint here, but I really enjoyed John Cena, Logan Paul, and I think John Cena has realised as a babyface, the trick, if you even want to call it that, is like lean into the epics. They've got you for 8 more matches. They've got you one last time if you're in that building. So give them that. Like, Men in Black, the heel turn, babyface run, pretend it never happened, and just goes epic and as big and as proud as you want.
Yeah.
And that's when that audience reaction works for me, because it's like, well, this reaction is so big and daft that the biggest and daftest performing wrestler can bounce off that. And they were coming up for things like the near falls. And surely he's beaten now. It's just an exchange of big moves. But they were gasping and going nuts for it. And then they would break into song. Yeah. Contrast that to
Dragon Lee versus Finn Balor.
Perfect example. Perfect example.
You put this in Little Cock, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And you can hear a rat piss on cotton.
They're not bouncing off the moves. And there were some all right moves with his head in that one.
I quite liked it. I actually quite liked it. I didn't want to say it was a bang average match.
But they weren't vibing off what they were watching.
No. It's a really, really odd, and I find it off-putting thing. As I said, we are awesome as a crowd. That is one of the worst chants ever. The idea of a crowd sucking itself off for making noise.
Yeah.
And now that was, 2.5 hours of that. I found it really off-putting. And again, like, I think I lost the thread on my earlier point, but I understand that, like, traditional heat as it used to exist 99.9% of the time doesn't really, people just pretend to hate the heels. You know, it's a problem, if you can call it that, for pro wrestling, which across the two companies in the US mainstream has never been more profitable. So maybe they're, you know, maybe I don't want to mourn a time that ain't ever coming back, because I feel like that's in bad faith.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell people, oh, you should boo the heels, because I don't give a toss.
Yeah.
Almost all of the time when a heel does like a fictional bad thing, I don't want to say be fake about some kind of heel transgression that you don't really buy. I'm not saying that you must boo for that and play along with what the
huge believers in, you buy your ticket, do what you want as long as you're not hurting others too. I think that's like, you can't lose sight of that. Like, if you don't want to, if you just love somebody unashamedly, you shouldn't.
But this is just, they're taking the piss.
Yeah.
It's fake. It is fake.
I would compare this. Do you remember the viral trend? It happened.
And the English are as bad for it.
Oh yeah, this is not a dig on this audience over the weekend. It was really apparent, because I think the building was so full and packed, and yet it was that, you know, a big crowd should own the elevator show. It reminded me a lot, to use an analogy that may sort of explain my own, like, how put off I was by it.
Like watching 20,000 TikTok reaction people.
Well, that was the thing I was going to use. At some point, when the Minecraft film came out, we're both parents, and I took my kids. I don't know if you took yours.
No, I didn't have that half term.
It must have happened once where people went nuts with the popcorn and the drinks and whatever, and it wasn't filmed, but it picked up as a trend. And then and I'm talking to you, the viewers, and you yourself, how did it make you feel when you watched a cinema being littered with pop and popcorn?
I hate it, man.
To a film, to a reveal of a bit in a film, and you watch that on a video going, I wouldn't want to be in. That's a crap time.
What if I'm getting
This
popcorn
feels
in my top and like pop on my hair?
Nobody watched that thinking that's an acceptable way to react to a film, and that's how watching these reactions made me feel. That's not the right.
It's not right.
Yeah, but you have to be so careful because it's like people have had a good time. I don't know. It just you're not reacting to what you're watching. You are reacting to the mentality.
It's a collective. They're just sucking. They're sucking themselves off. The old rib removal self-suck jab.
Wilborn was there, and I have a feeling when he
blame him
when he sort of talks about this, and we'll get into like live browed thoughts. I can only imagine he will say it was amazing. It was super loud. It was because it is hard when you're in a loud crowd to not get swept up in that. I think it's different. You might not have gone with the intent of just getting.
I'd hate to be in one of these buildings, man.
Would you? I think that's where we differ. Maybe
I think hate it.
Once in there, I think I would get caught up, just for like 3 pints in a sing along, innit? Like I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah.
And then you're part of what
two
people on the internet are calling the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Should we get into Raw? Because there is plenty of it on here.
Can I actually have one rant,
please?
I've been on holiday recently, and I went to Kos, beautiful Greek island, for a beautiful week with our family. It was an absolute perfect, almost perfect time. I would rate it as a 9.9 out of 10 holiday, okay? The 0.1. And the reason why I'm going to have this rant now is because I was prepared to unleash it while I was there until the missus correctly pointed out that I was ruining the mood.
Great.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was completely in the right.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Yeah, best not think about it. It's such a minor thing. Right?
Safe space. These 4 walls.
So now I want a quick little rant. If you'll just indulge me. If you don't want this kind of content, and you want an in-depth analysis of Dragon Lee's in-ring work, skip ahead a couple of minutes or whatever. My God. So I had this beautiful resort. Beachside, so it was just like everything that you could possibly want at your fingertips. Get cocktail at the main bar. So here's a little journey that would go on a day-to-day basis. So wake up, check the transfer rumors. Obviously, window was hadn't been slammed shut just yet.
Cannot fathom how you're doing that to yourself, by the way.
That's awful, but it's a terrible addiction.
Yeah.
At some point, we'll do a soccer tangent, and I'll actually rate Newcastle's window if anyone wants to hear that. Probably on, I don't know, NXT or something.
We'll get back to NXT next week and then you'll get all the good stuff there.
So wake up, stir. I'll go for breakfast while everyone else has to lie in. I'm a morning person. Right, what do we do first? Do we go dip in our little tiny private pool? Do we go to the slide pool? The main pool, which is like 3 meters deep or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But it's next to the cocktail bar. That's where the best drinks are. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll go to the slide pool. So cocktails for the parents, slides for the kids, and for me. And then, it's looking about 1 o'clock now. We allow...
Picturing you like the deer man doing your poses down the slide.
I didn't do it! I should have thought about it. Never mind. So, right, okay, we're getting at 1 o'clock now. What do we do next? Why don't we go down to the beach? Mm-hmm. Beers, Gyros, Battlestar Galactica, and then have an hour and a half to 2 hours there. Then it would be like quiet time back in the room where people can have naps or go on their tablets for an hour and a half, read the transfer rumors, depending, and then get ready to go out for the night. So that was the day, okay? When you get to the beach, okay, there are your usual sunbeds right by, like, the shore where the waves,
okay,
and then behind them were like, heard of sun beds?
Yes.
Yeah? Have you heard of a king size bed in the sun?
Okay, all right.
So they had these big, gigantic king sized mattresses, really comfortable. Not that I would know. Under a parasol. Now, obviously, these are the main event.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people on them already, except, right. And this is the worst kind of thing for like holiday etiquette, because you're not a big Mediterranean holiday guy, but you must have heard about the old cliche. And I did this on day 3 beyond because everybody else was doing it. And if the system worked and you only put the towel on the sunbed when you were using it, the system would actually work itself out just fine. But you have to, because 1 or like 10 people have to ruin it, everybody else has to do it. And I did it. I tried to have the etiquette, but after day 3, I'm getting up at 8 o'clock, putting my towel down so my kids can go in the pool on holiday. Is that so bad? When I've tried to play along at first, so whatever. Don't make me do things. So I had to do that. So it's one thing, the towel's down and their stuff's there. You can't really move anyone's stuff. You know, what if you like throw it down and it's someone's stuff? You can't do that. I want to do it, but I know the game you're playing and you've won.
Booked one of these king-size beds things is what you say.
They haven't booked it.
But with a towel.
I'm
getting it.
I'm getting it.
Okay,
I'm getting to that. So it's one thing to do the towel thing, which, again, if everyone played along, it would work. You just don't. You're just selfish. So I eventually started doing that on day 3 because like the kids want to go on the slide, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Paid a fortune to do this. Yeah, was one, for Christ's sake. Paid a fortune. Like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So you go down to the beach on these king-sized sunbeds with a parasol. There's no towels on there. Do you want to know how I think? And you know what? Do you know how I know people thought they could reserve? Find the biggest 5 stones on the beach, because it's quite a rocky beach. Find the biggest 5 stones nearby.
Yeah.
Have a walk down to the beach on the morning. Probably just put some stones on there. Yeah. No, you can't be reserving the best beds on the beach with 5 stones.
Agree.
And I walk and
even I know that's just not the rule. Towel is the rule.
It's not even that,
and that's not the rule.
Towel's not the rule, but it's the you bastard. You got up early and did it.
It's a non-verbal contract across all of Europe that's the deal, right? But
it shouldn't be. And everyone hates it. Yeah, that's one thing because it's one of those like normalized things. So it's like someone's put the towel down. You know what? If it was up there, I'd just move the towel. Yeah. If someone comes and goes, well, you weren't here. That's what I would do. But at the same time, no one wants the argument on holiday.
Yes.
And you don't know there could be some like massive guy who's really hard, who's going to start some bother with you. And that's what they want you to think, right? The towel's one thing, even though I hate stones on a bed.
Not on.
It's not on. So I was about to just take those stones off, and the missus correctly pointed out, you don't know who put those stones on. It could be some really aggressive dickhead who's going to try and... I doubt it would happen. Yeah. I think it would be an equally sheepish person who's went, the stones thing didn't work. We can't do that.
You don't need one of them memes where like, it's 2 for a bargain over a flight with it's just like you getting punched by a...
some big lad from Yorkshire.
Somebody's memed it on there. That's Sidge. Why's he got a rock in his hand?
So I was like... You know, like, I'll throw it. So I was about in the midst of like,
Brian, if you want to make a video, you can make it.
And she was like, you can't do that. I was like, you can't reserve it for stones at the same time. What are you, the Blair Witch? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's not how it works.
Lots of those dear men.
Yeah.
That's the Blair Witch's one we can't do.
So as was correctly pointed out,
sunbathing with the Blair Witch.
You can have a perfectly nice, like, 4 single ones next to each other. Instead, without the remote threat of some hard bastard saying, hey, I put those stones down there. Like, just for this. But why do these people win? Yeah. I wanted to lie down and starfish on one of these big, massive beds. And I couldn't because someone thought, let's put some stones on here. What's that little pale Geordie going to do about it? I'll tell you what, I'll have a very intense argument with you if I was allowed. I understand why I wasn't allowed. Just if you do that, you deserve.
It's holiday.
If you do that, you're a dickhead.
Holiday bag on the seat stuff.
It's just one of those. Is it like if you want to know the way that I am and why I am the way that I am, it's because even when you are paying, like thousands of pounds, it's a holiday these days, thousands of pounds to get away from it all, and by it all I mean I love this job, but, work, like the stresses of like life admin and all the rest of it, and like getting up early in the metro, your public transport breaking down, the daily grind.
The grind.
I want to get away from the awkward social contracts of life and all of that. And then they're just there's always something, even on your dream holiday that you work hard all year to do. There's always something and someone that just gets in the way of the best possible version of itself.
It becomes
I'm done.
It's an existential thing because it reminds you there just is no perfect, and it's not nice to think that when you think
when
you're paid for perfect.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
yeah no,
dickhead, stone on a bed, I'll kick your ass.
Verbally on a wrestling podcast,
indeed,
mate. I enjoyed that. I imagine you've hit upon some catharsis for people about, if not that specific example, very similar. Let us know. Twitter, X, YouTube comments, those little holiday frustrations. I'm interested in this because I think me and you have very different choices of where we'd go on holiday, but the emotion you're describing is it's a universal thing. Nobody wants it. The mega wealthy buy that. They buy an easier life in the airport, an easier life to and from where you're like, as simple as like getting a taxi instead of getting those like buses or whatever. Yeah. The hotel's just that little bit further away. The beach is that bit more private. Yeah. That's what they're paying for. Not a single interruption into their perfect day.
I know, it's just so goddamn annoying. Like, and it was pointed out, what if they were just there to weigh the towels down? It's like, well, you can use your body for that. When you sat there using it. And if you're not sat there using it, go somewhere else and let somebody else use it, you know? Yeah. Anyway, I'm done.
Enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed it too.
Unbelievable holiday other than that.
Good. That's good. Because obviously our holidays sort of overlap, but didn't we always try and time them? But
it can't be helped.
We've both taken breaks from the business during wacky summer, and I maybe am more positive as I would be on a Raw in general, but I really turns out you were all right. Stop watching for a couple of weeks, Hamflett, you psychopath. And I did, and I've come back, and I do feel a bit renewed about the Fed, which is why I might skew positive on this as opposed to you that I don't sense has quite as much nice to say about this.
No, I've got one really good point to make later.
And it's probably going to start with this guy because it's the punker waiting for Rollins. He's saying he's staying by the door. He said there is one way in and one way out of this building. This is to Adam Pearce when he came over cold open. So I'm just going to say, hey, thanks very much. I don't want to disrupt the show, but I am going to wait for Seth Rollins. And Pearce is doing his usual frustrated thing and says, right you are. And we'll revisit that later on to set up what's to come. It's Jey Uso that starts the show for real, late, as he kind of gets the big reaction. That's what they were saying. They were doing yeet in French. The crowd are wanting but not tonight.
Not tonight. It's been screwed.
Serious business, Jey Uso. He wanted the title around his waist. It's not worked out. Maybe helping Roman wasn't the smartest bit of business, but I'm not going to let what happened to him happen without me at least trying to do something about it. I'm all about family. Vision, don't come from my family again. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. This is for those that didn't see it. Again, I thought, you said there's no heat in wrestling. Pretty strong heat, I thought, that Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed got on Roman Reigns. The tsunami on the stretcher was a pretty arresting visual.
They were in there too long.
Did you think so?
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I'll give him a little more. Every time I went back, I was like, yeah. If anything, it kind of took too long for Jey Uso to get there. I was arguing.
The thing for me is, again, even if the performances were good, and I thought Bronson Reed, I really thought he was tedious in the match, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, brother.
Really tedious in the match, which didn't help the fact that, you're building him up as a monster. Well, I've seen the monster have a match and it was boring, so why are we doing this?
Warlord out there. At least Warlord had the crazy muscles.
I know. I know. His muscles were crazy.
That goes crazy. Shawn Michaels, all-time line from old HBK. And this is when he was a rocker. He looked at him and he's like, so he's like, can somebody give me a hand with the old? And he said, I think you're full. I think you're full.
I think you're full, Worry.
Like, mouth is shut. I think you're full.
I think you're full, Worry.
Let me at him.
What was I going to say? Yeah?
We talked about the heat angle. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker beating down Roman.
There's no heft to it because I'm not like, oh my God, Roman's out of action. He's going to hate that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw some comparisons to the Ospreay one. Like when you know people are going away.
It just doesn't work.
Takes the edge
doesn't
off
work.
Yeah.
No heft.
But yeah, but Jay's laying out the challenge.
Had to get his dub in, didn't he?
I do, kind of a little bit. It's the same in a way. Ospreay and Roman Reigns are the same wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
No, I saw
AEW do it as well. So
I saw that criticism. I'm not sure I agree with it, but I saw it levied, and I was like, I kind of get that, I suppose. Like,
if it's one of those where you've really got accustomed to that wrestler,
yeah,
and you want to see them every week, and then something like that happens, maybe like, don't write them off, but it didn't work like that.
It's like when you don't know that somebody's injured, and then that happens.
Yeah.
What? They're actually gone?
Yeah.
6 months? What?
Yeah.
But it's possibly setting up down the line, Vision, Bloodline, whatever, but Jey Uso challenges them right now, but instead, LA Knight comes, excuse me, where are my manners? LA Knight.
Yes.
He thought he was going to win last night, and now he feels like a loser, and that won't stand. Seth Rollins is still the champion. That's the big problem. LA Knight saying, look, people thought you were living in your cousin's shadow. I'm not sure about that anymore, but one thing we do know for definite is that Seth Rollins definitely lives in his wife's. Foreshadowing for a bit later on. This should have been presented. You're the one that spoiled it, Jey, so we didn't need to leave with Seth Rollins as champion. We could have put Seth Rollins through the table. He's referring to, of course, when the three of them ganged up and Jey so super kicks CM Punk instead of getting the job done. Jey says, like, what do you mean? Like, it's all about winning the title. And LA Knight saying, do you not understand? Because if you don't, I'll bring you up to speed. Let's have a bare knuckle fight. And Jey says, like, all right, yeah, fine, let's do it. But then Bron are out. They cut them off. Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker.
Two Bronnies.
Two Bronnies are in great spirits, obviously, because of what they did to Roman Reigns, but they want a piece of the babyface's ace. They're pretty angry that Seth Rollins isn't there, Paul Heyman's not there, but it does mean that the leash is off and there's nobody to stop them kicking their race. LA Knight's like, oh, well done, you can string a cohesive sentence together. That makes a change. And Bron Breakker's like, well, strung two wins together, so if anything, you should go Spec Sabers. Yeah. That was really weird. But he sort of
he can own it.
Yeah.
Because it was meant to be a dumbass.
It was a rubbish comeback, but he was like, I beat you down better a master, shoot your face.
Yeah.
Like, that was quite funny, but it was lame. But yeah, Paul Heyman's in the hospital, so we might as well just come out and get you now. Ultimately, it's all a back and forth, verbal sparring, tag team main event later on. This is boilerplate WWE setting up the main event stuff. I think maybe I'm stepping at Will One's place here. I really do think they've got
something. You have to.
I think they've really got something here with how they've just delicately lifted the Bronnies out of being their own thing if Seth's not about. It's not a necessity that the four of them have to come out together.
Yes, I agree with this.
It's helping.
One thing of the many things that I just dislike intensely about this Vision business is when them two were just in suits.
Yeah.
Just as heavy as his brutes. I thought it actually diminished what Bron Breakker can do. I mean, Bronson Reed, that's his perfect role.
Yes.
But Bron Breakker just looked, like, oh, we're doing this. He's already had a great start of life in WWE. Now you're doing him like very early Evolution Batista.
Yeah.
I felt like not a relegation, but he's more than this already. They're really coming into their own.
It opens the door for them to do more on their own. And like when Seth says, right, fall back in line, and Bronson's like, okay, boss. And then Bron's like, we've been doing they win the tag belt something. It's like, we're doing okay. Yeah.
Like they're giving way more of a platform to show more of their personalities. I'm not convinced Bronson Reed has a good one, but it's doing a lot for Bron Breakker.
Yeah. That's the main event for later on anyway. We go backstage.
I wanted to say one more thing about this. It was not a promo train. It was an interrupted promo back and forth. You see it a million times. You see it literally every week, and you have done for decades. I believed it. Yeah. I believed this.
LA Knight's good at the moment.
I really wanted to make that point. LA Knight has something in his eyes. He's believably acting wronged. He's believably acting volatile. He's carrying himself as a true star, which is really impressive for him because it did feel, not to reduce the guy that people like saying, now he feels like an actual baby face or a guy they want to get behind. It feels like there's a lot more substance to the relationship between LA Knight and this fan base right now.
It's funny you mentioned that thing because I think he's confronting Jey Uso and worried that it's a mirror and is trying to say, I think you're just the Yeet guy, but I'm not just the Air guy. Yeah. And I really liked LA Knight bouncing off CM Punk and getting a bit of that Punk dust. I think he's actually using Jey Uso for the same thing. And he's like, I will not have this. This comparison won't stand. I think I've got more than you. And I don't know. It's that like Who Wants It business, the Shark Tanky. I like that.
I got the sense, definitely. I got the sense from LA Knight and Bron in particular that they've quietly been surveying the Raw roster and thinking, who's above us really? Seth, Punk. We could get here. I just feel like they're so locked in. It's like one of those where if you're doing your hot and cold charts, like in the old magazines, like they really feel like they're on that hot. Like LA Knight looks more to me like a WrestleMania Night 1 headliner than he ever has.
Yes.
It just really feels like them two in particular know that there's a spot and they want it, and they are doing everything possible to believably act and sell their own stuff. And I don't know, I just felt like big time this.
It's one of the, especially, I don't know if it's our age or experience of watching wrestling, but it's one of the only things that feels real, isn't it? Is when you feel the competitive energy between wrestlers.
Yes,
it's like still one of the things that is 100% real.
It really felt like they were locked into their characters.
Likewise, I think, locked into the characters. I'm really into this. Asuka and Kairi Sane. We've seen, obviously, recently Asuka's frustration with Iyo Sky's relationship with Rhea Ripley and how that's manifested into their, like, what appears to be the breaking up of the relationship between the Kabuki Warriors and Iyo Sky, or however that's going to play out. But Asuka in particular, like, is immediately taking this role on of arsehole.
Yeah,
like,
she's great.
Uncomfortable person to be around. Kairi Sane not knowing where she fits in it. Iyo Sky, again, trying to be the babyface peacemaker, wants to apologise. Asuka's like, it's fine, we're family. Anyway, we'll sort out Judgment Day. You couldn't. Whatever. We'll take care of that. Io's like, do you want my help? And like, Kairi's like, yeah. And Asuka's like, nope. See you later. And just like walks off. So Io's left a bit confused. And then Kairi lingers in the shot a bit longer. And then they do this bit twice on this episode. You just hear Asuka's voice going, Kairi! And then Kairi's like, sorry. They're really onto something here. I think there's more of it. It was a WWE tell. Asuka's in 20 segments. Yeah. So it's like, they straight away know this is over.
I like the one with Rhea most.
Yeah, really good stuff. And that takes us to the match. It's the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus the Kabuki Warriors.
I've got nothing to say.
I have very little to say other than the first example here of the fans just like, we're here for a party, not for what's happening in the ring. But it probably suited this because Asuka worked
backtracker
as a heel. She was wrestling as a heel, but they were the baby faces. The Kabuki Warriors were the baby faces. So it didn't really work. The dynamic was a bit all over the shop because like every now and then, like Roxanne Perez is like so ready to be the top woman in all of wrestling, I think. She just puts something.
As was Tony Storm.
She puts something into nothing matches, and this was
sorry.
It's all right. This was a textbook nothing match, right? But she still
textbook nothing. Let's add that to the lexicon.
Textbook nothing match, and she put stuff into it, and I like that. But Asuka was constantly having to kind of
lexicon, as in Tony Khan. One word. Great.
Yes, the lexicon. We're
some fun with that one.
We are so back, right? But I do want to highlight because Asuka, the whole thing is a heel, and to that point, Kairi Sane gets like a massive babyface shine spot as we head to the finish. Leaps, stands on that like bigger ring post they've got now and just takes out, it was Raquel Rodriguez, I think, with this awesome dive. You know, when she gets all the airtime.
Yeah.
Kairi Sane's quietly found her form again after like about a year and a half of being Bosh City Jones.
Yeah.
So she was back.
And some real clunkers.
Speaking of Bosh City Jones, the whole finish falls apart. Roxanne Perez and Asuka.
Not for the first time on the show. Jesus Christ.
Something. It completely goes tits up, and then Asuka
tits up
locks on the Asuka lock, gets the win. That was the point.
It wasn't even the worst botch finish on the shoe.
No. Everybody misses everything, but ultimately, Asuka wins with the Asuka lock, and obviously this is to feed into something later on where like Kabuki Warriors are back and everything's great. The Judgment Day feature later as well. So there is some consequences, but not that many. Speaking of consequences, you got nothing on that match, sorry.
No, some moves happen.
Dang thing. We have something. Adam Pearce finally addresses the situation with the women's title, and it's pretty good. He acknowledges that Stephanie Vicari's owed her title shot, and Iyo Sky was set to get one before the Naomi news. So, simple answer. Put them together, WrestlePalooza, vacant title to be decided on that show. Seems to me, Sidge, based on what else they're building later on in this episode, that they're going to stack WrestlePalooza. Good job, there's nothing for us to watch on that day.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the big welcome to ESPN, yada, 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 we know what's happening here, don't we? How's that going to work? Because, like, based on this, like, that singles match, I want to watch that. They've told a really cool story.
Is it Saturday or a Sunday?
What day is All Out? Because it's that one.
I can't remember.
I think it's Saturday. I think.
God, I have to watch both.
Yeah. This Iyo Stephanie.
I'm so privileged to do this job. I'm sorry.
The story's been quite nicely told this year, isn't it? They want desperately to actually wrestle a match to a finish, and it keeps getting broken up, and now it's for the belt.
Yeah,
I quite like that, and it's like it's been liquid pro wrestling when the two of them have been together. This should be good.
Yeah,
and I think Iyo gets the belt as well, which is what we want because you kind of want to keep Stephanie like nearly but not quite.
Yeah,
before wrestling.
It's all coming together.
Simmering. Speaking of simmering, CM Punk's still outside, fizzing. He wants Seth Rollins. We talked about this. We touched on this. Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee was next. Right. I was watching this with my kids. Raw was on at a nice time here in the UK. We're an hour behind or ahead of France, whatever. And the kids really...
I was watching it. I was making sure that Wiss's move had completed nicely.
Yeah.
Some unnecessary tension there.
Been a lot of stuff this month with those two. But yeah, we'd watched...
I watched it this morning.
We'd watched Clash in Paris the night before, and we were able to watch Raw last night. So they were kind of locked in. But Dragon Lee was brand new to them. Because he ain't never around much. Certainly not in the stuff they want to watch. Like,
they've watched loads of him as well.
Bloody loads of him. And just Dragon Lee's this guy, and then he comes out with a cool dragon gear, and they're like, what's this guy got going for him? Dad, who do you think will win this? They're into the who do you want to win, who do you think will win? Sort of stuff
good.
Early doors. And I was like, I think Finn Balor will win, but I like Dragon Lee. And they were, well, why do you like Dragon Lee? I was like, well, I'll tell you what, how about we watch this and see if you like him afterwards? And it was one of those. He did get a bit of flippy stuff in.
Oh, like that's the thing. This is well done, this.
He's been getting some opportunities. Balor is, like, as a heel especially, we've kind of credited him before. He's a good base for flyers, and he'll show ass, and then he'll do the cocky stuff, and then he'll get caught out, which was perfect for Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
But he did ultimately get the win, as he probably needed to. Ultimately... it was like Finn Balor, it was going for the mask, wasn't it? And he was able to get the coup de grace in the end, get the win. Dragon Lee's utility, Finn Balor's a tag team champion. You kind of have to do this stuff, but it was all right in parts. I just got quite wound up by the crowd going to business for themselves.
Oh, God. Like, we get
borderline
it.
Disrespectful.
We get it, you're loud. It is, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We get it, you're loud. Like, go crazy at the start. Set your marker down, and then just be less fake, please.
Yeah. And yeah, Finn Balor gets the win, and it's all obviously to do some Judgment Day ag later on. Iyo Sky is chatting with Nikki Bella backstage. She says, like, heard the news about WrestlePalooza. That's pretty cool. Stephanie Vakwe is my girl, but it's been great to work with you. Look forward to watching the match. Maybe I'll challenge the winner, and it's all good. Asuka comes in and is like, F off, Nikki. You're just as big a problem as everybody else. And it's a bit weird. See you later. She's like, well, we got the job done out there. We're doing everything we need, so you best get it done at WrestlePalooza. He was like, yeah, great. And I'll happily do it by myself. It's going to be a great party when we're all champions. And Asuka's like, well, you didn't win at SummerSlam on your own, though, did you? So maybe you can't get it done. I'm sure you'll be champion again. She storms off. And again, Kairi's like, Kairi! And then Kairi has to leave. They're onto something with this. All of this.
No, they are. Aye.
The Rhea stuff, the division in general, it feels
feels
alive again, doesn't it?
It feels way more booked under Levesque than possibly it ever has.
Yes, I would agree. Like, it's not just that. We've got two fighting for a title. There's a division again at long last. We're in the backstage area, the sort of quasi-clubhouse where Finn and JD McDonough are celebrating. Dominik Mysterio's there. He says, could have done with your help recently. AJ Styles is still on my case. I need to get it done tonight. We need to make a plan. They're like, I can't really be asked. And then before they can even cook up a plan, Postman Pierce rocks up and says, don't think about doing anything stupid. You two are both banned from ringside. So Dominik's got to do it by himself. More on that later on. Finn Balor, as always, is great in the background. Oh, no! That'll show him. Oh, Christ. Right. The War Raiders. Penta, yay, but this is the problem because the crowd in America, typically, domestically, love Penta. In Europe, a bit like, wait, well, no, not Europe, because those house show clips looked incredible. All the goodies. It was the France TV crowd were like, well, we're doing our songs. It was like, didn't feel Penta over tonight. And
no.
That's the worst case
scenario. Like, we're over.
Hanging out with the War Raiders. The New Day and Grayson Waller.
I understand as well, sorry. Like, was Backlash France the first ever French PLE?
Yes.
They're way more underserved than the English.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I feel like it's a point I probably should have mentioned in the intro of this pod. Like, they have never had anything of this scale. Mm-hmm. They are going to be going crazy, but like, let's not go nuts.
Agree. What I want to highlight there is when...
I forgot to tell, this has to come up at some point.
Okay.
I hate the Boney M.
Oh, God, yeah. Got to go. Explain with a tune what that might be to people that don't know the original song.
So Boney M had a song, Daddy, Daddy Cool. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Daddy, Daddy Cool. So then at some point it took off. Was it Cody got the first ones?
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
Feels like it was Brit Res / Scott Res thing, didn't it? I feel I feel like I can see that in an ICW crowd.
Yeah,
migrate south.
So maybe not Cody, but Cody and the Fed.
Yeah.
So it's and it's if you've got the correct syllables, you'll get it, regardless of whether you're a face, heel, or over elsewhere. I hate it. Please stop. It's not going to stop. I hate what that is still going. It's just the thing. The what chant. Has the what chant outlived the WWF initials?
Yeah.
Again. Hell.
23
fire.
Years. 23 years.
The what chant has outlived the WWF initials. Okay. So I'll hold my breath about this Boney M crap. It's awful. It's awful. And again, it's just like, what are you cheering for?
Yeah. No, it's gonna go. It's gonna run and run, isn't it? Because there's gonna keep being baby faces that fit the mold.
I'm gonna tweet that.
That'll do well.
The next time there's an egregious one,
the people are getting pissed off with it as well. Yeah. I think that's the Boney M one in particular, but the Seven Nation Army thing's been bothersome for a while, and it's building to a crescendo, I think, isn't it? Unlike this match, there was a nice bit where the War Raiders did the Penta dance, and that moves me to just speak briefly on how I was really was despairing a bit of WWE's TV booking with this episode of Raw, actually, with Seth and Punk in particular, because seeing Punk, Sami Zayn, and Penta dicking about in the UK on the house show tour, and I was like, there it is. When the Fed was white hot, and it was because it was the babyface promotion.
Yeah,
look at all the goodies just being class, and then you get the Raw and SmackDown, and it's like, where's all the fun gone?
Yeah.
There's been a distinct lack of fun on these shows of late, or things to get really excited about, and seeing these three. Yeah. Penta's got it because he helped the War Raiders here, I think, develop a little bit more personality, which led them to get, I would say, a bit of an upset, actually. Yes, the New Day with Grayson Waller is an act that you can beat currently, because, by the way, I was on holiday, but I came back and I saw hat stuff, and oh my God, Penta with that ginormous frigging hat, and then Xavier Woods returned with
I put that
with
over.
A little one, and
massive. Me and Will Bonnell, we like that hat.
Yeah. You made a point a while ago, as we were sort of accepting that this New Day thing just wasn't going to take serious heels, that it's a Xavier Woods thing, especially. You just cannot help be Penta, and that's gonna. But now they've found it, haven't they?
I'm the thing. Now that I've completely given up all hope whatsoever of them being a serious singles act that could capitalize on a really transgressive betrayal of Big E. Now that my expectations are lowered, they are now met big time. I like the New Day a lot.
I'll jump into this now because basically they lose the match, right? And
tell them about the finish. Tell the people about the finish. And what on earth were the War Raiders trying to do here?
Oh, I don't know. What are you on about?
Describe it. Describe the finish.
As the building up where he does the headbutt on the arm?
Yeah. So Eric has...
so Eric has... What's happened here? So Woods gets a DDT on Ivar. I always get this team mixed up. Yeah, it was Ivar. And then Eric headbutts Woods in the arm, who then still has to hit a rolling discus.
It was just horrendous.
Yeah.
Was it not a sort of backbreaker setup?
Well, Penta does the Mexican Destroyer off the back of Ivar.
Yes.
That's what you're referring to for the actual finish.
Oh, just the thing before, it was just...
Yeah, it didn't work.
I feel like it was some kind of backbreaker splash combo, and it looked like... Was it Xavier Woods who took it?
Aye.
It looked like his head had imploded.
Yeah, well, because he was selling... I was really knocked about after the fact, and they're kind of using, obviously, Grayson Waller as this helper, this carer for the New Day at the moment. But it did sort of, I guess, with Penta with them, I think the idea was to put the Viking Raiders back in the conversation about winning the tag belts again. But in a weird, WWE rarely do this, in a weird sort of, how's that happened? There was a vignette that I had later on that was tremendous. That was the New Day, and I'll talk about it now because it doesn't factor in anywhere else. The New Day in a church with an urn, mourning the death of their tag reign and building to the thank God for the New Day. But it was odd that was later on in the show when the last we've seen of the New Day is selling this weird finish and Grayson Waller haven't normally in WWE land that means they have to nurse those injuries for 7 days and then turn up to Raw going I've been walking around like this all week like that. But then they were the pre-shot vignette aired, so I don't quite know what's going on with it.
No.
But obviously the idea of the booking here was to try and put the Viking Raiders back into contention because the New Day basically have said that in the church vignette basically say that the Judgment Day holding on to the tag belts is disgusting. Like they were gods of tag division, and one day you will all thank God again for the New Day. So I think they're going to be moved back into the tag title picture, but now they're bringing the Viking Raiders with them.
After WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, the division needs uprooting. It needed the old superstar shake-up business, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Wilborn was like, funny. When we get to that post-SummerSlam draft, and I was like, never mentioned it, mate. Like, I know you aggregated it 6 months ago, but it
doesn't mean it happened. I don't mean that things happen.
Rustling.
Rustling. It's going around.
Kathy Kelly's with Rhea Ripley. She says, realistically what's happening with Iyo Sky here. And she says it's about a mutual respect thing. Asuka is once again back. You again. Why are you talking about a title? Like, Io's not even got it yet. She's going to be fighting for the title. And Rhea's like, look, I don't know what your problem is with me, but I'm no threat to you. I'm no threat to Iyo Sky. Everything's fine. And says, like, you and Iyo, you, Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky are not friends. We're family. You're not friends. Stay away from her. And Rhea said, I've been trying to be good about this. I've been trying to play nice, but don't push me. You're taking it too far. And Asuka's like, you're not ready for me. I'm Asuka. Do you think I should be threatened by you?
I like it when she went, you're not, even you.
Yeah.
No one's ready for Asuka, even you.
No one's ready for Asuka.
A great line to get them both over.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
I'll push whoever the hell I want. Yeah, you're not the boss of me. And they sort of have that, and we get the one last. Kairi saying the rule of 3 for the night. It's good stuff. Kind of again.
I like it.
Yeah, this Asuka character.
She
has returned. She's a prick. Nobody's quite sure why, but you just immediately buy it.
Yeah. Immediately buy it.
It's the old when you said like Brawl Out occurred because Punk had taken the summer off, and it was like the rear window thing of staring out the window.
Yeah,
that's been Asuka's injury layoff.
Yeah. She just come back bad.
They were screwing around too much. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez are pissed off. This was this week's bloody women chatting segment.
Yak. It's written by men.
They want a match. Pace is like, I'm bloody sick of having to book you. In comes Liv Valkyria. She wants a match. They all bicker.
Why can't they do it the day before?
Yeah, that's what women do.
No, but like, they can never catch him in a good mood. It's always when he's like doing his job, which is, it's always in the middle of Adam Pearce doing his job, which is nothing except do this, which is very convenient that it keeps happening.
I need a drink. So basically, anyway, he sort of figures both his problems out at the same time with this stupid little idiots, and he's booked Roxanne Perez
every week.
Roxanne Perez and Lara Valkyria.
Take it back about Levesque in this women's division.
Well, careful, Essage, because we've not had a chance to talk about this. I was sort of in spite of having to leave some of my kind of pretensions, if I've even got any, at the door.
You don't have any.
I'm back out again. I was sort of in on the... Am I supposed to hear Bailey's thoughts or not? What are we doing? I was like, do you know what? Because there are two well-defined characters that I've loved in the Hugger and the Role Model, and that was why I was in.
Yeah.
I was like, them two...
Member berries,
bring back the old gear, bring back the old music. Which one's she going to be? Dare I say it, I was a little bit like sort of Mick Foley on it. I was like, all right, Cactus Jack do love Mankind. I'll look at it because the characters mean something to me. Then last week, when they aired one of those segments of Bailey falling apart, we can hear her thoughts, this is weird, but she's falling apart. And then Lyra goes into Adam Pearce's office and is like, can we do something about Bailey, please? He's like, I suppose I'll have a look into it. And it's like, no.
You're not meant to be able
I've just seen the segment.
Hear her inner voices.
Yeah, she's having like a nervous breakdown, and A, doing nothing about it, and B, I can actually hear her brain. She ain't right.
Well, I've already got one woman talking to me. Now I've got two women and one woman. Now I got two women and one woman to deal with.
Bickering in her brain?
I ain't doing that. That's going to be a bickering yak inception. I'll have infinity women yakking at me. I don't know why he's speaking like Daddy Magic.
Lyra's like, just before I go, did you do anything about Bailey? And he was like, yeah, I spoke to her on the phone. She said some weird stuff. She'll be back soon, probably. Like, just the sort of level of
I can hear her own internal monologue.
She's probably fine.
And he still doesn't give no crap.
Probably washing a bloody hair or something. Just like, he just blew it all. I was like, right, okay, don't engage. Yes, I want to see Bailey in her old gear with the side pony and the Bailey buddies, but Adam Pearce doesn't give a damn. Shoot nervous breakdown of one of your longest tenured stars. Oh,
Or
Weird, weird.
Nothing to joke about, but like genuinely, potentially, they are telling us she has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And Adam Pearce doesn't give a credit.
He's blowing it off. Yeah, she said some stuff on the phone. I won't really listen. I was just watching the match.
Yeah, serious, unrecoverable mental disorder. Anyway, I got some matches to book.
I best be off. See you later.
That was weird. You can't do that, really.
Aye, funny. We'll see how that develops, I guess. Because Ira Valkyrie is showing concern, so presumably the heel side of Bayley's going to attack her and whatever. And then next week she's going to come back as a baby face. And
so it's Adam Pearce getting Infinity Women Inception.
Lyra's going to be like, why should I trust you? You attacked me last week. And she's going to have the sideburn. He's like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm giving you a hug. And Adam Pearce is going like, women, eh? That's where all this goes. Not on.
Who's indoors?
Right. Might bloody have to. Right. Where are we at with the Dudleys are old and shoot on the crowds because I think I like this. AJ Styles comes out for the Intercontinental title match. And I said it 2 months ago, book this for France, and they did it.
Booked it for free.
Out he comes, and Netflix has a thing where it just goes back for a second and comes back and you get to watch. This was like these Netflix commercial breaks were quite awkward because the wrestlers out there and it's like, I'm here for 3 minutes. What do you want?
Yeah.
He just soaked it up, and the fans were with him the whole way. This, I think, is the rule-proven exception. I loved this. Like, they knew they had it. AJ was excited, because he was a heel last time, obviously, so it was kind of tricky in the Cody match. You could embrace it this time. Dominik was the perfect heel foil for it. There was no attempt to, like, when crowds babyface Dominik Mysterio. Not here. This was all about... The fans were revved up for this one as well. Yeah. I like this one.
I've got minimal to say about the match again. I thought Dominik at points looked better than usual.
Yeah, I like Dominik.
He's still kind of useless, but it works for him, and I'll get to one particular spot in the match. AJ in France, don't get it, don't believe in it, don't buy it. Was TNA, you know how like certain countries have just got a weird affection with certain like American cultural properties?
This one. This country.
Yeah, this country does, basically. Yeah. We're still watching Friends. That kind of thing.
Yep.
TNA big in France or something?
Maybe. It's big over here, isn't it? You feel it when you hear.
Yeah. So maybe it's that, and what I'm about to say is too cynical. It feels like they realized, hang on, a popular Euro dance or Europop hit has a word in it that matches up with his nickname. Yeah. So let's get over and have fun and sing it at him, and now it's become a thing. It still doesn't feel earnest. I think Piper in Portland, it's probably good. I've never really watched that much of it. But do you know what I mean? It's not like it's not like.
Love it when we're all honest.
You gotta be honest.
I'm not watching. I'm not anything.
There's two.
I'm dusty the camera.
There's too many grifters.
Yeah. It's about time there's a bit more honesty about the old wrestling that you don't like or care about.
And you know what I mean.
Like,
you know what I mean.
Rather that truth.
I will say, I think we reached a point in life. It's hard.
Yeah.
To find time for yourself. I've done the goddamn work. I've got an extensive knowledge of a lot of wrestling history. And I hope that, sort of informs and, enhances these podcasts. Not everything. I'm not watching everything. No. I've got a life.
Have you ever, I'm talking to you down the lens, have you ever watched late 70s, early 80s Fed? Because I have. And let me tell you.
It sucks. It is the olden days.
More Turkarinos and Thanksgiving. It is the past, and the past is ass.
We're very good friends, Hamflett and I. One of our big key bonding moments is WrestleMania 1's a bit crap. It's like that this thing where, like,
how many Bruno matches did you watch? All three good ones. All three hot ones.
We had this thing where, like, we didn't, 1986 and 87, 88, probably hotter than 90. I think some worry on the cover of WrestleMania 6. That was a real golden era.
Yeah.
I think that's after the Mega Powers was the
WrestleMania
3 to the Mega Powers. That's the commercial.
That's
peak.
The money. Yeah.
So I get it, but like, so
our money was Warrior.
Yeah. So like WrestleMania 7 and 6. I'm sorry, but to a lesser extent 5. And you got like SummerSlam 89 and then Legion of Doom and SummerSlam 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah. And WrestleMania 3 though.
Ooh, Savage and Dynamite in the Wrestling Classic. Ooh,
I mean,
it's all right, but I'm not digging out Savage or Dynamite. But
it's not like
skip to that, watch it, it's a freaking DQ, and then get the hell on with your business.
And then WrestleMania 1 is the olden days.
Yeah,
it is the old. It's the olden days, and everyone. I think everyone agrees WrestleMania 1's boring olden days, weird, bleak.
Here's some
bleak.
like,
It looks bleak.
It's not breaking news. Breaking patter. Have you seen the story that Mr. T's daughter tells about WrestleMania 1 this morning on the timeline?
Yes.
It's class. I'm not going to spoil it, and I'm not going to spoil her delivery of it. Go and find it. It's mint.
It's mint. But you know what isn't mint is that's WrestleMania 1. Like, maybe if you're a listener or a viewer of a certain age, you probably have the same experience where you get like the new one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Warriors on the magazines, so you go to Woolworths or whatever, or Costco if you live in the other country. You know what I mean? Walmart. And like, oh, the Warrior in the magazines. Oh, I like him. Oh, there's a video and a toy. And da-da-da. No one's making a toy of the Executioner.
No.
You know what I mean? So when you go, you get like WrestleMania 7, 6, and 5, and the SummerSlams and the Survivor Series. And what's this Tuesday in Texas?
Yeah.
You're not getting another one. All right, okay, I'll find about that in a few years' time. I want to get the Rumble in 6, whatever. And then you go, oh, there's more WrestleManias. And then, God bless you, like your parents probably like, oh, you've been good this week. I'll get you WrestleMania 1. And then you look at it and you go, it's WrestleMania. It's got the lightning.
There's Hulk.
It's got the purple lightning.
Yep.
And you put it in. What's this? It's the olden days.
Oh, grainy.
It's like watching Gone with the Wind.
It is.
Do you used to get depressed when you were watching, you wanted your glitzy telly, whether it was like American, you were Saved by the Bell, glamorous American telly, or Blind Date and like
a shiny floor.
Yeah. You know, you got like Jurassic Park and massive dinosaurs. And your parents like, oh, stick Gone with the Wind on.
Man.
You get depressed, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Channel 4 was a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fill the afternoon schedule with like a 2-hour film that like you couldn't possibly recognize.
7 Brides for 7 Brothers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And that WrestleMania 1's in that tier.
Yes, I would agree.
Thank you.
I would totally agree. I remember getting it as like I used to get a lot of my videos from car boot sales, and I'd got WrestleMania 1 as like a birthday present because my dad had.
WrestleMania 4's already too big.
Big box. Used to go around the videos. It's a double video, mate. You can't fit a tournament that boring on one cassette. We used to go around to a car boot sale separately, and my dad must have found the store with WrestleMania 1 before I did, and he kind of like hid it away because I had like a birthday or Christmas coming up, and I'm opening this thing, and you know, you're really informed by your other cultural influences, and I always think about the episode of The Simpsons where they get Radioactive Man #1.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm holding like a holy grail. This is like, it's not a video of a pay-per-view, it's a historical document.
Yeah.
It's a document of history. And I find them boring too, because I'm watching this and I'm, when's it getting good? I love that. Do you know what? It's so me. I love the, it didn't even have the Easy Lover on because they didn't pay for the licensing.
Yeah.
Love the intro with all like the oldie-timey match graphics. It's like, a lot of matches. Like, whoa, Brutus isn't even a barber yet. Like, WrestleMania 2 I'd seen, and I didn't like it, but I did remember just appreciating that it was weird. Like, it was a rental from the video shop, and it was like moving to different venues, and the ring's not quite looking right, and the heart's in blue in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
There's certain things that were just takeaways to me as a kid,
Yeah.
but WrestleMania 1 was so little. Like, there's a little quality to it. The MSG mic's about it, isn't it? And Muhammad Ali's in a, like, turns up to work in a full shoot referee's gear. Is pretty cool. That's a flex, isn't it?
It's weird how glistening the 80s got in towards the end of the decade.
Yeah.
Like Predator's my 80s.
Well, it's weird because I think pop culture by 85, the GOAT year, the year we were born, it really was glossy, but wrestling is always about 3 years behind pop culture, isn't it? So
it was pre-Ebersol.
Yeah, massive help. See, we do know our history, which is why we're not going to bother recapping much of the present, because I really enjoyed AJ Styles, Dominik Mysterio, but it didn't leave much of a memory 24 hours later. I liked Dominik Mysterio does this thing now where when he's actually got a fight on his hands before the cheating or before the whatever, the chicanery, he'll like just tiptoe the line of trying to be credible. This here was illustrated with the Michinoku driver, which I thought was really nicely delivered at the point of the match it came. AJ Styles is in control for most of it, but then when he's got one of them, Dominik Mysterio, that allows AJ to sell and credibly look like he might be in a bit of trouble. Dominik hits a frog splash, but it only gets 2. That gets a pretty effective near fall. But with that used, what else can he really do? And the momentum is with AJ Styles. AJ hits him with the Bloody Sunday, and there's a real nice sense of, that is it. We are done. I'm going to like let him get up, but only for the phenomenal forearm, and that's where he makes his mistake. There's no Judgment Day to help, but El Grande Americano is there. Him and Dominik have been plotting something over the past few weeks. Evidently, it was this. El Grande grabs the leg during the phenomenal forearm, and then, again, like a little bit botchy, I thought, loads the mask up, and kind of headbutts him in the chest.
Yes,
Maybe,
but
was that for the finish?
Well, maybe for the finish, because the whole point, and it gets lost so often, is that the reason why you go down for the 3, it's not because things like magically hurt for 2.9 seconds or 3.8. You're meant to be winded.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's the deal.
And a frog splash wasn't enough the first time, but now with the winded chest, it is. And that gets the win. There was I should point out as well, there was a false finish before that, which should have been better. Because
they made a meal. Is this the Styles Clash? Just get into position.
Yeah,
they made a meal of it. So they do the Styles Clash. It's the worst possible type of it. So they do the Styles Clash so close to the ropes that they can't get the 1, 2, the rope break because they're already on the ropes. So it's like you're too close to the ropes.
What are you going to do? Yeah. The arm and the boot. Like the arm hooks under was sort of authentic, but then the boot over the top was because they tried to do
Dominik went way too early on it as well. Yeah.
Bad
shitty choice.
But yeah, it was a credible enough way, I think, for AJ to lose. Nice little mini feud, I think, that's paid itself off. Yeah. And like Dominik will move on.
I thought AJ was fun throughout the build. Good bit of business all round, really.
I would agree.
Considering like good character work, good destination to do it at.
They are continuing to measure the fact that, considering he's had the belt since WrestleMania, they continue to measure just how much of a heel and a babyface to make Dominik.
Yeah, he's had a good
tricky,
year.
I think.
He's had a really good year.
Backstage, CM Punk is still waiting outside, but he's with Rhea Ripley. More on her in a bit, I think. We'll just touch on that at the end. Says, good luck, like whatever you need, I'm here, but I know you got to do you. Adam Pearce slides back into the shot and he says, I don't know how this has happened, but there's whispers that Seth Rollins is in the building, and Punk's like, I'm joking. So right, I'm going to handle it now. And Pearce says, I need a drink. So sure enough, that leads to CM Punk coming to the
Bailey's on my ass.
I got 6 Baileys back there. A third Bailey. CM Punk walks the ring, like enormous response for him. And he's angry, but he's kind of measuring it. He's saying, look, like, this was great. I think this was brilliant acting from Punk end to end in the segment, but he does, if nothing else, even when he's kind of having to do what he's told as a wrestler, he never wants you to think he hasn't got his finger on the pulse. He sells the exasperation with still having to wrestle Seth Rollins kind of as much as everybody is feeling.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's still going on, and I guess I'm going to be stuck with it. But if I'm going to be stuck with it, so are you, Seth. This Raw is not carrying on. If you're in the building, which I hear you are, you're going to come out. Otherwise, I'm not going to leave.
And saga has like really bad connotations. This is becoming a saga now.
Yeah. And he's like, I guess if we just have to sing a bunch of songs, then that's what we'll do. But he said, come and face me man to man. Seth Rollins is
I will say, as someone who has a little bit of PDS,
yeah,
when Punk was going, all these maniacs and friends, they can sing my song and chant my name or we'll have fun or whatever. Literally the one person in the crowd who doesn't like him, just like that. As soon as he said it, it was the best cut. I loved it.
Like that guy, is it in the Samoa Joe match? When, he's getting that, we were there, incredible reception at Wembley, but it's a 50-50 split. And he poses on the, CM Punk, what's my name, whatever. Somebody holds up a sign that says, best in the world at being a bitch.
yeah, being a bitch. Bitch, CM Punk,
and stole the show, didn't they? Seth's music hits, whoa, but it's Becky Lynch. CM Punk, the man, she gets the man. She does the entire Seth Rollins. She looked like she'd been wanting to do that the whole goddamn. That was nice. I felt like, remember when there was the backstage thing? She was like, the stuff he gets to wear now. And I'm just a babyface and can't. So she gets to do her husband's entrance, the whole deal. There's a massive AJ Lee chant. And Becky says, classic. Chanting for a dope that doesn't work here.
Absolutely incredible.
What a line considering what was to come.
Yes, it was like 3 levels great, this. I would like to think, I don't care either way, maybe she thought if they chant her name because basically the AJ Lee rumor started basically as soon as
Becky was visible.
Becky was the ball shot at Clash in Paris. So she's probably thought, right, I know, I'd love to, if that is completely improvised, because what a line, because obviously people have been doing the thing for CM Punk, or she just thought, jot that down.
Yeah.
Either way, it's great.
So strong, and it was only going to get better. Punk stops her right in the tracks and says, look, I'm not going to do this. I'm after Seth. And Becky's like, no, you know that you don't tell me what to do. This has everything to do with me and everything to do with you. Do you not realise that in all this time, you're not just going for Seth, you're going for me, you're going for my daughter. You're basically attacking my entire family. Punk says, with all due respect, I don't care at this point. I know where this is going, and I don't want any part in it with you. And she says, no, you're going to stay and you're going to listen to what I have to say. I've had to listen to you tell lies about my husband, berate the father of my child, berate the greatest man I've ever known. And he says, the greatest man you've ever known is a coward. And she says, coward? He sacrificed more for his business than you ever will. He's everything that you're not. Hot, jacked, talented, and he doesn't interrupt me. Punk said, look, I wish you would interrupt for once, so that none of us here have to listen to you anymore, and so I can punch Seth's teeth down his throat. And she says, you know what, these crowd, they can chant all they want, but they're just the same as you, Punk. Just love to hear the sound of their own voice. When you walked out of this company, you didn't just damage Seth, you damaged everybody. You damaged me. There was CM Punk chants during my matches. Do you know how that made me feel? And then a massive CM Punk chant breaks out. Becky's facials here are fantastic. CM Punk's
She
facials.
was several levels above phenomenal here, Becky Lynch. She was outstanding.
The registering from both I thought was superb. Wrestling promos, it's all a dance, and it's all just as much about the importance of the partner. You know, they're not stepping on each other's toes, to use the dance analogy, but they don't mind scuffing each other's shoes. So like Punk feels like he's measuring. You know, he would interrupt with Seth, and it would sometimes be a bit like, you're just not taking him seriously here.
Yeah.
He takes Becky Lynch seriously here. He waits. They both registered the CM Punk chant that kind of couldn't have come at a better point. And like Becky continues, she kind of looks like sneers at the crowd, like looks on. You're not the voice of the voiceless. You're the
Voiceless? What's that? I don't know what voiceless is.
It's if John Voight's in the company, then he leaves. You poster child for apathy, but I haven't forgotten those chants. Punk, I think he cuts in here with that great line. He says, you know, they chant for me, not because I ask them to, but because I'm the best in the world. And she immediately, again, it's like a nice volley back and forth. Well, that's interesting because like their chants didn't get me to the main event of WrestleMania. I got to the main event of WrestleMania. It's like there are a queue of people that can use that line against CM Punk, and it's brand new.
Yeah.
Just like me and my husband have got WWE to where it is today, not you. There's a shut the F up chant for Becky Lynch at this point. It's real heat. It's real heat.
This is perfect. This is why you want a loud crowd.
She is tweaking even the way that she speaks to be, I think, to sort of more like kind of that like grainy, nasally delivery style, which
I thought she was exceptional.
Annoying them more, and she knows she's got them. She just like starts getting more wound up by it. She says like, look, you can boo all you want. Like, my husband's a visionary, he's a revolutionary, and I'm the greatest female of all time. Look, it's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated is saying it. Everybody's saying it.
I love how she keeps bringing that up.
Yeah, it's a nice line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, Punk, it's our business now, and we need you to get the hell out of the way. So the best of luck in your future endeavors. It's a line you can barely hear because the heat is that loud at this point. You just don't fit the vision. And there's a massive AJ Lee chant again, and you can just see Becky just disgusted at her name getting brought up. And Punk says, like, it all sounds good. It always does, but the vision's a bit blurry, isn't it, Becky? This just sounds to me like another 10-year beef because everybody's chanted my name instead of yours when I was away. I understand. I love it when he says this. I understand the magnitude of my own name, but that's just how it goes when you're the best in the world. It's not just me. It's 30,000 people here in Paris. They chant if I'm here, they chant if I'm not. I could be sitting in catering, I could be in the ring. They'll chant if I'm champion, they'll chant if I'm not, but they'll always chant for me. Do you know who else chants my name? It's everybody in every town I work. There were people in Liverpool, there were people in Newcastle, there were people in Manchester. Did you see Jane McDonough with his first bit of good patter ever?
Oh, it was great.
Local sports stuff doesn't always work in England. The Liverpool top was heat enough, but the Isaac reveal was like good bit of business.
Yeah,
like
tremendous.
Liverpool, Newcastle, Manchester, Leeds. Tell you wasn't there, you and your stupid husband. You tell him again who he thinks runs things, and we'll see. The only thing Seth runs from is from adversary. He hid behind the title. He hides behind Paul Heyman. He hides behind the two Bronnies, and now he's hiding behind his wife. Now, don't get it twisted, Becky.
I love this.
You are not the wife of Seth Rollins. You are so much more than that. You were the man. You just got bad taste and you married a bum. I want Seth Rollins to know that. He's a paper champion. You're a paper champion. You were nowhere near those towns with your plastic belts. And between him and Seth Rollins, this will never be over. Seth Rollins, to relatively little fanfare, then actually appears on the stage. He's actually been listening to CM Punk the whole time. Punk sees him, immediately steams for Seth Rollins, but Becky does that, and she's so brilliantly irritating in the, can't get past me, can't get mad. And Seth Rollins just sort of gives him a wave, and I said, see you later. Yeah. And he just walks back off stage, seen enough, not interested, not asked. Punk is leaning on the ropes again, just really selling how annoyed but exasperated.
He can't do anything. That's the key. He cannot do anything.
So he leans on the ropes and he sort of turns back around, and Becky is right in his face. I was what am I supposed to do now? And before he's got a chance to make that decision, Becky just starts paintbrushing him with slaps.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then it gets not paintbrushy. She starts to if she'd slapped him hard repeatedly on the blush of that cheek over and over again, yeah, it'd be annoying. She did the thing where she's slapping him, but digging at him, different parts of his body, just
Chest.
trying to get every single cell in his body on fire, enraged to try and get a reaction out of him. I thought
goes in with a head like Zidane at one point.
Yeah.
She gets a chin up to his face.
She's trying to get him like this to the point where he's going to break. I felt CM Punk being annoyed. It's almost I've connected with CM Punk through Becky Lynch's incredible decisions. These just the placement of these slaps, and I thought she was phenomenal here.
It was incredible.
I can't imagine someone doing that to me without reacting myself.
Bristling was phenomenal.
Oh,
God,
he was great as well.
It was like a wide-eyed, open mouth viewing experience. This
And
it was electric.
she had the lower teeth out, just trying to just wind him up so much.
And it ends, and she's still got this. At this point, it's developed into this eating grin on her face.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm going to make your husband regret ever cashing in on me, and you're going to regret putting your hands on me. Huge pop for that. Again, the fans are in on what we think is being sold here. And Becky, in that moment, loses the power for the first time in the promo. Punk goes to leave, and she just shouts him all the way down the aisle.
I will say, for the first line, I'm thinking, no, don't ruin it. But then the more she kept going on, I thought it really worked.
It's like the verbal version of the slaps,
yes.
I thought, because she says, yeah, that's it, get out of here. I've got your face on me just like I had your ball sweat on my hoodie last night. It's disgusting, it's gross, it's awful. And yeah, to your point, it's a bit of a cheesy way to end this. But the camera lingers on Punk.
And she's still
making a long walk, and she's just on him, It's those slaps, but just, go on, get out of here, loser, you're never going to be back. Come on, don't you have a song for this? Nah, grating the whole thing. Punk just keeps on walking, and just obviously seemingly has no kind of counter for this. But before we get to the main event, we see Punk backstage, bumps into Adam Pearce again, tells him, oh yeah, I saw Seth, he's already gone out of here. And Punk, where's SmackDown on Friday? And Pearce is like, why, it's in Chicago. Why, boss?
Yeah.
And Punk says, big smile across his face, oh, great. I'll see you there. They've already advertised John Cena for this SmackDown, but this SmackDown is set up, obviously, something potentially huge. Let's talk about it now. Yeah. The potential return of AJ Lee. What a phenomenal bit of business this has been from Sunday to now.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable, 5-star build, right? I just want to reiterate the Becky's face and the way and the direction and the placement of those slaps / jabs, prods. Unbelievable.
Second of the year stuff from WWE.
Yeah, I had
this.
such a visceral reaction to the incredible choices she made here. Right. So I'm going to fold my analysis into a little bit, just to put it over to a little bit of don't hurt me, sacrilege corner. Never a big AJ Lee person.
Okay.
I think, you have to credit, I admire her balls.
Yeah.
To just say to Stephanie McMahon, you're a two-faced, lying, hypocrite, fake, idiot.
Yeah.
You're completely wrong. I'm going to challenge you publicly on this.
A book was brave.
Yeah,
she was thrust into an untenable situation. She was there with Punk, and
I admire the hell out of her. I genuinely admire the hell out of her for all that. I understand and I appreciate that she was hardly given 15 minutes. every time she was in that ring to wrestle a caliber of matches, you nowadays see like Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, Iyo Sky, etc., etc. Yeah, I understand she was making the best of a bad situation, and she was her and Nikki Bella did that, and
Caitlyn had her moments.
Michelle McCool sometimes.
Michelle McCool,
that was the reality.
Not a long list.
So I'm not saying she was ever positioned to do her best possible work. I was never big on it. I didn't like the pipe bomb promo.
She was over.
She was very over. She had the thing to me of, while I, at the same time, completely, you feel good for a wrestler from that era. What could you do? She's definitely had like that. So it is nice that she's coming back to prove that she can really do something, I never really got it. I think she had that sort of flaunting what little she had over everybody else. I don't think she was that good in the ring, really. Anyway, Becky Lynch was so good here that I was desperate for AJ Lee to come out.
The music to hit.
Desperate for AJ to come out and just batter her.
Yeah.
Because Becky Lynch goddamn deserved it. Through 40. I am 40 years old this month. I'm talking 3 decades and probably a little bit of change of me thinking, God, I hate that baddie. Honestly. God, I hated that baddie last night. She was incredible. Becky Lynch was unbelievably incredible to the point where I now want a wrestler who I never really wanted to see return. I wasn't ever that big on her to come and wipe the smile off her face. Inch perfect actual build to a pro wrestling match.
They've got a big match on their hands there.
They've got a huge match on their hands. If you had told me this time yesterday, you're going to want to see CM Punk and Seth Rollins in that ring as much as anything else for the rest of this year, I would never have believed you, but here we are. And I had one more thing to say about this. Yeah, I can't. There's been occasions where I thought, "Oh, you bastard!" Watching a wrestling TV show. I'm not like as an adult or a teenager. I'm not dead inside, but it's so rare. It's gone from Earthquake, Squash, and Hogan or whatever to, oh my God, I love that person I'm meant to hate because they're so good at their job, and it's part of the experience. We all play along to a degree, but an earnest reaction of, oh, you can't be doing that. Oh, I hate you. I hate you in this moment. And she did it. Borderline genius performance from Becky Lynch. She was unreal.
Do you know what I got out of this? And it's been the first time in a while, actually.
A while?
It's been a while. And this is I mentioned this on the news, so I apologise if you watched that with Murray. I'm regurgitating a take here. Something wrestling needs to realise is that even when you might not want to go into intergender wrestling, thorny issue, not to be had here, it does not mean that you can't do intergender promos if they're 2 big stars. This made me realise that remember when I was just flying, who's Punk going to talk to this week? Yeah. Who's he going to bump into backstage this week? He's never bumped into Becky Lynch before. Didn't matter that she was a woman. She's one of the biggest stars that the company's had in his absence, and he's not faced her yet. This is Rhea Ripley, Dominik Mysterio. This is like, gender does not matter if you're dealing with stars, and we are thankfully in an era where some women finally broke through the glass ceiling. Put them together. Yeah. If you can find a dispute, make them talk against each other.
This is great. That's a great point. I've remembered what I was going to say. No, I've not forgotten it again.
Becky Lynch and Punk as in like...
Oh, no, I've remembered. If you've listened to us for a long time, of course you have, you're stuck with this. Got a bit deranged there a little bit earlier. I hate brawls. When I see, it's usually on Dynamite, the wrestlers have a match. The wrestler beats down someone. Oh, here comes, and I like them a lot. They're good. Brodito to make the save. I'm never like, yay, come on. I'm done with brawls.
Yeah.
This really illuminated to me, we need to find ways to separate wrestlers before they have their big matches. Like, this is like this is like a really distilled version of the beauty of Taz, Sabu, MJF, Cody, of like, you can't touch, or we are positioning, depicting this as a place where you can't touch yet. That anticipation of like, oh God, they're wrestlers, but they can't touch or fight each other.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's brilliant. It's electric.
They need to find ways to do this, man.
Do you know there's this is, I don't know if this is too in the bubble or not, but I mean, if you're watching this, you're probably in the bubble anyway. Everyone's locked in, and they've done something here where they've created an investment from the audience, because I've listened to this audiobook, and it's not a detail that stuck with me, but somebody isolated the audio where Becky Lynch, as a wide-eyed, naive kid at like the PC or whatever, stuck a hand out to AJ Lee, and she kind of got dismissed a little bit. And people have found that in like 24 hours, based presumably on a bit of rooted investment in this Fuad and wanting to like really love it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's now missing from Rollins and Punk. Remember that 2023, early 2024 Chicago? This is electric because they hate each other. That's gone now because they've worked together a million times.
And I made this exact point on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, of trust Paul Levesque, who has to do everything for a long time for no discernible reason to completely miss the window of that point of you can't do a work shoot with the idea being, oh God, this could go a little bit wrong because they hate each other when they have mutually agreed to collaborate for nearly 2 years.
Probably had like 4 pay-per-views together this year or something.
Becky
and Punk's brand new.
I know.
Punk and Becky and AJ's brand new. And people latching onto that has immediately like fueled just enough Punk and Seth again. And like,
you probably think Becky hates Punk. I believed it last night.
That's it, right? And like, but again, they're going to work together. But that was always the magic of the Punk return. How many can work with him? How many can go to the level because they know it's good business?
What lines are going to really illuminate this?
We're back in that for the first time in a while.
No, it's great.
Nice. It's a nice
it really is great because like Punk, like Rollins, you don't know what goes on. But like Seth, presumably behind closed doors, he's like softened his stance.
Did you say
worked
Unreal
together this long
when Punk was putting together the Chamber?
No,
Rollins was in that, and he knows what good wrestling is. So he's like, that finish sounds excellent. Let's do that.
Yeah,
like, he knows when Punk's basically.
So I mean, they're completely
even colleagues that know how to function together.
Yeah, but that only happens when like over time and interacting with them becomes normalized. But in my head, I'm thinking, Becky's probably still an arsehole.
Yeah.
And he was like, I know, but we're being professional. I don't have to. I can still call him a twat. You know what I mean?
And now I'm gonna. The main event couldn't really follow that, but it was it's the contrast, I guess, the reality versus the fake. And like it was the tag team match that was set up in the first segment. Jey Uso and LA Knight as partners that can't really get along against the two Bronnies. Ultimately, this was
exactly the match unfolding as you'd expect. No depth to it. I was bored rigid really watching this.
I think
I couldn't follow that.
Well, no, I thought the most telling element of this was the fact, obviously, the two Bronnies get the win, but it's Bron Breakker hitting the spear on Jey Uso, and to our point earlier on about LA Knight, they feel like they're trying to find where LA Knight fits, whereas they can sort of beat up Jey Uso at the moment. It's not necessarily sliding Jey Uso out of that top line picture, but it felt more of a risk if you were going to beat LA Knight. Yeah. And I think that's notable, maybe from a booking point of view, like what exactly have they got? It's all thrown away. This is a bit, it's crept back in 2025. The result, regardless of which way it goes, is left irrelevant by the post-match. Now, as it happens, the heels won and then did the beatdown. Yeah. But you could have been forgiven for thinking the babyfaces could win, and then the heels do the beatdown too. That's why you have Roman and Bronson. Yeah. Roman still got the win. Yeah. So they're kind of damaging the quality of results a little bit. But anyway, the heels get the win, beat down Jey Uso, and now Jimmy. Structurally,
nothing you've never seen within a million years, and the action wasn't good enough to get over the familiarity.
They put LA Knight out of danger through a table, out of dodge through a table, so that he couldn't have affected any change with the finish to kind of protect him and to an extent protect Jey. So heels are taking over again. They're going to do what they did to Roman, but they're going to do it to Jey. But Jimmy is here on Raw, and he's a SmackDown superstar, Sidge. So nobody could have predicted that. Out comes Jimmy. He sends the heels packing, and I guess we're told to look for the first time, which we've kind of seen for a while. The friggin' Usos, the Usos versus the two Bronnies. That's not bad. I think we've spun out of something that's a pretty big match.
Yeah, it makes sense to do. Line. People like the Usos. I don't.
Million cards that WWE have to run these days because if AEW's running the show, Fred's going to be in town. Yeah. That's going to be a main event somewhere, isn't it? Yeah. Two Bronnies and the Usos. That's how Raw goes off the air. It couldn't really touch Becky and Punk.
Of course not.
That was probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
Let's have that main event segment be last.
Yeah.
But yeah. Super mega strong.
God, that was one of the best things on wrestling TV all year.
It was a hell of a go home for the All-State Arena SmackDown on Friday, wasn't it? Because you're kind of going to be glued to that now.
I don't have to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, if you want to join us on Monday. Okay, yeah. If you want to join us, you can do so on the WhatCulture Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel, where if you haven't seen it yet, there's been a bunch of wacky, steamy stuff we put in the can that's been getting released that we're quite proud of. Go and check that out. It's nearly...
Kate Moore's good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I see some stuff, man. It's nearly over. We will be back. Normal service will be resumed this week, but in the meantime, you can get us all at WhatCulture WB on X. You can also follow Michael Sidgwick at
Sidgwick.
I'm Michael Hamflett, and until next time, we will see you soon.